understand it. This wasn't the plan. Don't wanna demand it. I've done what I can. And I never mentioned the times you were rude. And I never mentioned when you hear the truth. Scared to lose it all. I won't stand a chance. And I don't wanna fake it. What if I can't walk away? Got me saying away. Hoping I don't make the same mistake. Same mistake. Hoping I don't make the same mistake. I don't like to leave things unresolved. Maybe it's madness. I'm begging you, please pick up the call. You're causing me damage. I should've known, wasn't your fault. Don't even matter. I wasn't thinking clear, trying to take it there. Scared to lose it all. I won't stand a chance. And I don't wanna fake it. What if I can't walk away? You got me standing in the rain. Hoping I don't make the same mistake. Same mistake. Hoping I don't make the same mistake. I'm just standing in the rain, hoping I don't make the same mistake.
Hand out, she holds. It's feeling like we've been here before. We're both so broke. That's something that'll keep us afloat. Don't walk too slow. We can't keep falling deeper again. Came too close and the taste so far from pure. A rush of blood, but we search for so much more. We've all been here before. We've all been here before. We've all been here before. Hand out, she holds. It's feeling like we've been here before. We're both so broke. That's something that'll keep us afloat. Don't walk too slow. We can't keep falling deeper again. Came too close and the taste so
Welcome back, everybody, to another Shenandoah Esports broadcast. My name is Chris, and I'm joined by my lovely brother, Kevin Clayton, and we are coming at you live from the Shenandoah Esports Arena in Winchester, Virginia. It has been a while. We missed you all. We are coming off of a nice, relaxing fall break, so we haven't had broadcasts the last couple days. I believe we had one on Wednesday,
yes.
But that wasn't with me or you. So, hey, everybody, we missed you. We hope you guys had a relaxing break. If you did, we certainly did. But we are back with some Smash Bros. Competition. Kevin, we are going to be covering our team's Week 4 competition in NACE.
Yes, so far, Shenandoah's roster has been undefeated in NACE, which is a stellar accomplishment so far, but there is a little bit of a shakeup with the roster we have going in to this match, because it sounds like one of our players, actually two of our players, are going to be out of action in Belgium.
Yeah, and as we take a quick look at the standings here, right, we see that our team is 3-0, as Kevin mentioned, right up there at the top. But our opponent today, as we have not mentioned, is Eastern Tennessee State University, which you also may notice is right up there with us. So we're expecting a pretty action-packed match today, right? It's going to be high skill, high intensity, high stakes match. But either way, right, we have a very successful roster here so far in their NACE competition. And as we show you the players on your screen, there is an exception to be made here. Avery, Geesaman, Igloo, second to the left there, is actually out in Belgium currently. Can't quite play Smash when you're out of the country. I mean, I guess you could, but the ping would be awful. And the time difference, he's probably asleep. And Avery, if you're watching this, shout out. We miss you. Safe travels back soon. But point being, he's not here. So we will be playing one of our substitute players, 540 Splice.
Yes, Josh is a legendary player, and while I don't believe he has been on the broadcast so far here for like SU's main competition, we've gotten the chance to see him and sort of what he has going through practicing with the team and getting familiar with this space. He heard about this through Eliminate, who who is big in the Smash scene, still plays a lot, but competes on the Rocket League team. The two of them have gone back and forth for a while and definitely show each other's strengths and weaknesses. So I'm getting excited to see now Josh is going to be entering the frame with this legendary Captain Falcon that on practice day, when we had the 14 people come out here to all try out, there were multiple times I was jumping, I was leaning forward, and I'm trying to hold it in. I'm trying not to be biased, but my man is flashy.
No, that's exciting. I mean, Captain Falcon is obviously an extremely fun character to watch, especially when executed to a high degree.
Oh, yeah.
So it'll be fun to keep an eye out for, right? I think we have seen him once on broadcast, and I forget the opponent. But we ended up, it was Kipp 12-stocked. And so we put in some of our substitute players to give them some live game experience, as one does, especially after a performance like that from Kipp. So we did see him on there very briefly, right? And I think it went decently well, right? We obviously can't talk too much about that because we don't have a ton of source material to go off of. So, yeah, big moment here for 540 Splice, right, making his first true debut as a now starter due to Avery being out in Belgium.
Yeah, but nevertheless, this is definitely a more unique situation because you have a new level of pressure on you. There's a difference between one of our players did really well and we want to get you guys experience in this environment, to it's game time, show time. You have to take your 3 and walk away with a win. It's a dangerous mentality to get into, but I do think that any of these players are ready for that moment at any given time.
Yeah, and I agree with that. And I think the battle scars to prove it are the 3-0 record, right? This has been a successful team so far this season, but ETSU also 3-0, equally strong record, equally strong opponents, and these teams have history as well, right? They played last year, and I believe ETSU barely got the better of Shenandoah last time they played. So this is an incredible school, an incredible roster that certainly does not seem like it's gotten any weaker in the last semester or two. So Shenandoah has a tall task ahead of them, but there's no reason to believe that they cannot come out on top today.
Yeah, I want to talk a little bit about that roster because while talking with the players, we got a pretty good taste of what sort of players to expect, and we got a very nice, diverse roster of characters from your brawlers to your zoners. And it makes me happy because we could see a lot of good adaptation in this crew battle. But I do think we should address the elephant in the room. There's a Ken Ryu player who has a lot of Shenandoah's players, like, all eyes on them.
Yeah, this player certainly seems to be heightening our awareness here on campus. And again, I think it's due to the history that these two rosters have against each other, right? Both of these schools have felt the blows that the other school can throw. And, you know, we pride ourselves on having Willy usually as our anchor, our disgusting Shoto player, Kazuya, Terry, usually player. But this is no different, really. And Owls on this Ken Ryu can be foul and has been against Shenandoah in the past. So, yeah, these players are certainly aware of what's in front of them and are prepared to deal with it, and we'll see if they're able to go out and execute, as we should be getting into game here fairly soon.
Yes, and we on the backhand have received word, and we do know for a fact the first matchup will involve this Ryu player for the side of SU, or for
ETSU,
ETSU, my apologies. But for SU, it does mean that we are going with our stock standard start, which means Kipp will be going in first, who plays a very similar role with all of these crew battles. He's sent in first because a lot of people don't know how to deal with a pack.
Exactly.
It gets so much value, and it definitely, when players are sent in first, they tend to be a little bit more aggressive, trying to get the initial 3 and get that momentum going early. Pac-Man does a really good job of stopping that, not only because he's able to sit back, but also just because of that knowledge check. But when you have a player, again, all of SU's players' eyes are on, that means that they may have this answer, which means that this matchup could be incredibly close as we hop into game number 1.
Yep, we are absolutely getting into the action here as Shenandoah looks to take an early lead. We shall see Kipp against who we believe to be Owls from ETSU on this Ryu. An early lead here for Owls, getting Kipp up to an early 66%, but Kipp responding very quickly, right? And, I mean, you said it, right? This is going to be a massive knowledge check, which we know Owls is a great player, right? We expect a lot of great things, but drops that combo out of the focus, can't quite capitalize. Now, Kipp does hang on to his first stock, but finds a key. That's good damage, Kevin.
Yeah, if I'm Kipp right now, I gotta be feeling good, but there's a lot of focus coming out right now. And that move is definitely strong, especially with Pac-Man, who does a really good job of getting hard hits off initially, but the same goes for Ryu, right? A couple of down tilts into the up special will be able to take out that stock, but look at this damage. Look at the pressure Ryu is exerting without having to be close to Pac-Man. It's just a lot of respect you have to give, and when Kipp usually expects the opponent to have to get close to him, this is a very dangerous spot to be in.
Yeah, an uncomfortable position for Pac-Man to find himself in, but he will find the key through his own hydrant and put that first stock away. Evening stocks, but Owls got a lot of extra credit there, right? 74% out to 84, right? This is, unfortunately, this is already kind of kill percentage if you're this Ryu.
Yes, and we saw the up tilts into the up special earlier. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Ryu start to look for that again, but he's going for a couple more fireballs. I think he's trying to get Kipp's shield just a little bit lower because Ryu can either poke or just get a good break as we see another focus come out on the approach, but another miss on the up special, this time because of the fire hydrant.
Yeah, a couple missed opportunities there from this ETSU starter, but Kipp, right, certainly not batting an eye. We will absolutely take those as Now, Kipp looking to just find any type of advantage, trying to find his way in and play his own game, right? We talk about the need to be able to come out and set your own tempo, and so far, it has been all Owls.
Yeah, I love seeing the little bit of tech we saw there from Owls. I think that just speaks to the level of knowledge he has with the character, canceling the down smash into the Tatsu, trying to get Kipp to react quickly. But we do see Kipp is doing a really good job of playing this slow and not getting too flustered, not feeling like he needs to make a decision, but does try to go for a very hard call out. The focus attack just barely dashing to the side, which means that Kipp will lose that stock, but Ryu is off stage with a fireball going the wrong way, and both players are one stock each. Chris, this may be one of the biggest factors going into this crew battle already. We were talking about the momentum needed, and Kipp is getting 64% to start things off.
Yeah, man, that second stock looked polarizingly different from the first one. Kipp able to respond and make the adaptations he needs, and ultimately come out with an even game, right? And now pulling way ahead. If he's able to put this stock away, like you said, this could be massive momentum, a massive storyline for the rest of this series.
Yeah, and look at Kipp. He knows that this is what he wants and is trying to sit back, looking for that bell. Oh, instead opting for the key because Ryu wanted to go for that fire hydrant. And now we're seeing just a lot of fireball play. Ryu has been going for it a lot this match, but is still trying to sit back despite the fact that he's at such a high percent. And Kipp does have great tools to take the stock despite being at that distance. But now we see a couple more fireballs. Fire hydrant getting Kipp to jump up into the air, staying on that platform, saying, I do not want to deal with this player yet until I have the tools I need.
That felt like it could have been really gimmicky depending on the results of that. But anyway, I think you can see it in how this Ryu is playing too. I think he is thinking the same thing we're thinking. If he gets knocked out here, that's trouble for the rest of the ETSU roster. And all of a sudden we see a massive change in playstyle. Like you said, a lot more projectiles, a lot slower, more respectful gameplay. But now racking up percentages, right, as Ryu finds himself at 170. Just about any combo from Kipp could finish the job. Now Ryu forced to get a little more aggressive and find his way in, get out of this pinch. But will he be able to do it? Because Kipp certainly has other plans.
Yeah, we do see a couple more fireballs coming out. A very good Tatsu from the Ryu, but both players clank, and Kipp does go to the opposite side, which means he will survive that Tatsu and walks away with the stock lead going into the rest of this crew battle.
I mean, that's a massive start for Shenandoah, right? That's a big deal. We talked very highly about this player in particular for ETSU being a massive threat to our Shenandoah roster. So being able to go out and send one of our stronger players out to take care of business like that early on, that's a huge deal.
Yeah, and I want to talk not only about getting this lead, but also the knowledge we have going forward. That Ryu player definitely knows this matchup, knows how to control that pacing and keep that momentum going, because we saw little interactions like that, able to get these stocks and keep that percent rolling. But I do think it was just a matter of trying to force that stock. He made a call just a little too quickly near the end that really cost him. I mean, even so, look at the reads these players were making. Kipp's call out on that could have been amazing, and Ryu's call out on that fireball, if it was the other way, would have probably saved him that stock. Both players were making those adaptations throughout the game, and I love it.
Right, yeah, you can absolutely see the vision in both of these players as it's playing out, right? And that's high-level Smash, right? You can tell that they're thinking well in advance of what is on your screen, what we may be talking about in the moment. So, I mean, exciting stuff for Shenandoah, and I certainly don't mean to downplay the rest of this ETSU roster, right? This series is far from over. There's so much Smash left to be played. But I also don't want to undervalue what Kipp was just able to do. I mean, that's a player, that's a matchup that has caused issues for Shenandoah in the past. That's a massive hurdle now behind them.
Yes, and with that being said, now you have a Pac-Man with a one-stock lead going into this next round of the crew battle, and ETSU is going to have to send in one player of the roster of, I believe, 7. Lots of potential characters who could be coming out from sorties to more ranged options, and a couple of grapplers. I do also want to acknowledge there was another player who had SU kind of keeping an eye on. They were very particular about a Mario player on their roster who is very good at doing exactly what we saw in that last match. Ryu took the time to sit back and would let Kipp charge the fruit whatever he needed and then dodge it. Get someone into that mental state of, I can keep doing this, I can do this all day, basically. But when you start getting complacent, if you keep doing that over and over and don't keep that active mindset going, that means that you need to be aware when your opponent just decides, I'm going to jump in.
Yeah, right. I mean, we know that so many characters in Smash Bros. Really are forced to subscribe to a certain play style, completely dependent on their character, and Mario certainly is not one of those characters. But Mario is also not the character on your screen. We do see that ETSU opting to send out Meteor on this Game & Watch to try to respond to Kipp's Pac-Man.
There is a Heihachi, which got all of the players excited behind me, but not only that, we do see a matchup that is frankly seen a lot at a higher level just because these characters tend to have a lot of good resources on them. I mean, look at the Game & Watch damage stacking up. He is really just getting a couple of good nairs and really keeping that percentage going, but he also has great tools to kind of dance around what Pac-Man has to offer for these setups, so it's going to have to be on him to find a way to get back onto the stage now as Kipp uses the trampoline and gets the get-up attack to try and get onto the stage.
Yeah, there's also a very inevitable part of, of Game & Watch's kit that we all need to keep track of, and that is his bucket. Right, Pac-Man is a character with notoriously a lot of projectiles, right? If Game & Watch is able to scoop some of those up and find his way into Kipp's face, it might be able to find a kill, but Kipp able to find a kill of his own, and just like that, I mean, what bucket are we talking about, right? We haven't seen it come out yet. It might not be as much of a factor.
Yeah, that down air is so difficult to deal with, especially when Game & Watch has such a quick up special to respond, but with a very good parry that gave Kipp the time to throw out that bell and get that forward smash, which means that he walks away with an extra stock in his pocket as now 108 on Kipp. Game & Watch throwing out the back airs, throwing up the up smash, trying to get this last hit in, but it's not just enough yet as another trampoline will send Kipp off stage.
Yeah, and keep an eye on Kipp's percentage here, right? This is his last stock, so as we look to see if Kipp is able to find just one more, I mean, this is dangerous territory for Kipp, right? He wants to get as much as he can, and he's certainly already exceeded his role in this lineup, but, I mean, 128 is certainly kill percentage, but there's nothing stopping Kipp from going and getting one more, maybe two more. Right now, we do see him up to 140%. A little bit of a different story, right? We're talking some serious, dangerous situations. But again, I mean, Kipp far from out of this just yet, finding his way in. But man, has Meteor become very aggressive. And sure enough, a falling forward air on the platform will put that away. Little scary there for Meteor, but only losing one stock and putting Kipp down.
Yeah, if you're Meteor, that is at the very least what you want to walk away with. Obviously, if you can walk away with the 3 stock, that's like perfect, ideal when you're behind. Sure. But this is definitely both ideal, frankly, for both players. This is what you expect when you're going into a crew battle in this sort of situation. But you could tell a little bit that the Meteor was very much looking for those kills, which means that if Shenandoah is keeping an eye on that, that means that they may send in a character who can punish this sort of I need to take the stock now sort of mentality, but Game & Watch has very fast moves to do that. The up smashes, the down smashes, all of that come out so fast. The trampoline, the up special, it all is just so quick, and you are able to just throw it out for the sake of throwing out the move. But I do think some of SU's players do have tips in mind to try and really make sure that if a player does start playing almost preemptive too much, they can start predicting where that opponent will be.
So I'm curious then if, I mean, we know fairly strongly what characters our lineup has. I mean, I think we expect Willy to remain as an anchor.
Yes.
AyeJay and Splice being the 2 remaining middle ground players. Who do you think has a better shot into that type of playstyle?
Frankly, I like both. There are benefits to each one, but I would lean a little bit more towards the Falco.
I agree.
On the side of you have the up special and just general recovery in the hands of Falco. Game & Watch is not afraid to go off stage and just go for a key into the up B and grab back onto the ledge. And Captain Falcon's recovery isn't amazing, so it can become a very dangerous factor, especially when you have a player like that who is so incredibly aggressive, who is willing to just follow you into the depths so to make sure that you are going down.
Yeah, and it almost, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, it did almost feel like we saw a playstyle change from Stock 1 to Stock 2 in that player. I mean, he was very aggressive in Stock 1, but, I mean, all of a sudden, as soon as he lost that stock, it was like, okay, we're ripping the chains off, and I'm gonna cling to you until you are dead. Like, I'm not gonna let you breathe until this stock is gone and we can move on.
Yeah, we saw a couple of times where Game & Watch would be in his shield and Kipp would get moves that are generally good at just like getting a little bit of chip or stuff like that, and usually can't drop your shield and get something off. But in that situation, Game & Watch was just able to stick onto him. Even if he was in shield blocking whatever Kipp was trying to throw out initially, it would add so much by just being able to up special. But enough of that. We are going into the next round as we do see AyeJay from SU is going to be sent in and is immediately trying to play the grounded game against this Game & Watch and have him be the one feeling the pressure. But Game & Watch calling out the initial reaction is able to get the down smash and a good chunk of damage as we do see a very nice parry and now the juggled game on AyeJay.
Yeah, wow, great string of moves there from Meteor. Great string of interactions, I should say. Couple smart decisions there with a good parry and great punishes all around. Find AyeJay in a tough spot to start this game, but still a full stock ahead, right? And Falco certainly does not struggle to find kills when he needs them, right? We see the long combos that AyeJay can string together with all of his up airs and finishing with forward airs. We see those moves starting to come out as Game & Watch finds himself at 73%. I mean, this is going to be interesting because both of these players certainly want to be all up in your face, and we see exactly why, right? Falco able to find that kill rather smoothly.
Yes, and we're starting to see it again. I don't think it was much of a stock change last time, Chris, as it is once the player on SU is at a high enough percent, this Game & Watch player will throw out the chair, will throw out the down smashes, everything in their power, and usually won't even try to block after the move. The frame data is just good enough that they're able to get creative with it as they try going for a hammer play, but immediately get the one instead.
Yeah, I mean, that's the nature of Game & Watch, right? That's the fun gamble we all play, is going for combos like that. You might just get a stock. You might end up hurting yourself. Sure enough, he finds the low roll on that one. But, you know, I think you're right? We are starting to realize this playstyle might not be a stock situation. It's a percentage situation, right? As soon as AyeJay finds himself at whatever percentage Meteor decides is appropriate, it's pedal to the metal, right? Yeah. It is all gas, no brakes. But so far, AyeJay sticking in it. Oh, he will get rooted in the ground, and a forward smash will connect. Sweet spot, sending AyeJay off stage.
Yes, but this isn't necessarily a bad spot to be in as well, because AyeJay does have this extra stock for this match. He does use the up special to get back on the stage. Game & Watch opting for his up special to try and catch a landing. Oh my goodness. A very aggressive call out from AyeJay saying, you've been dancing around my shield and stuff way too much. You cannot be landing on me. Give me the respect I deserve. And one quick forward smash to the face does it for you.
Very smart, right? I mean, you said it. A great adaptation, a great observation from AyeJay to know that that was coming and risk not throwing the shield up and find the forward smash. Very well done, and he comes out on top. Shenandoah again with a one-stock lead as we now await a third player from Eastern Tennessee State.
Yes, I do want to talk a little bit about what we saw there. We talk about the aggressive side of things, and from the Game & Watch, we do see when it comes to that high percent, that's when we start to see him like really dance around. Usually the earlier percents is a very, like, I wouldn't say whiff punish, but that's what happened with the Falco down air that missed into the Game & Watch down smash. It was just a slight miss into taking that stock. And I think that's the sort of game plan that he plays early on, and then starts throwing out the moves to try and take the stock immediately after. But there, what we saw from AyeJay, it wasn't throwing out a ton of moves out back to back to back. Falco doesn't necessarily have the frame data for that beyond like up tilt. So he's going for an option to call out, to make the aggressive play. And that's where this kind of differs. You can see benefits to both playstyles and benefits to the character you're playing respectively, but understand it's the strategy you need to accustom yourself with when you are playing either of these characters.
Yeah, and ultimately, when the dust settles, AyeJay does come out on top, at least in that exchange. But we might see more of that in future series. We'll have to find out. But now, like I said, we await the player number 3 from ETSU, and I want to go back to what we talked about before the match we just watched. There's a Mario player that our roster mentioned a couple times as a very dynamic and just well-rounded player. And sure enough, we see on your screen that will be the player that we get to watch next as ETSU sends in Cooked Cannard as their 3rd representative.
I love it. Now, we talked a lot today already about your changing play styles. And when it came to this Mario player, the big factor of this was he could go from anywhere between passive to aggressive to just trying to take the stock all at once. He can really just turn it up to 11 if he's in the mood. But we are seeing here, look how he's playing patient, trying to sit back in this matchup because he has these 3 stocks. He wants to even it out if he can. I wouldn't be surprised if he does lose this initial stock. That is where we start to see a little bit more of this aggressive play to try and close it out, as AyeJay is trying to make that happen with a 65% comp.
Yeah, I mean, exciting stuff if you're pulling for SU in this series, right? This is a very great way to open this matchup because, like we said, this player is very flexible, and no doubt we will see probably a playstyle change start to come out here soon. But as AyeJay starts finding some combos of his own, some great damage coming out, and now this is scary territory if you are this ETSU player, right? 105% is certainly enough for AyeJay to be able to find just one of those up tilts and lock it in with a back air, or might not need it as he's able to find that one and put it away. AyeJay once again finding the extra credit that SU needs to come out on top in this series.
I would not be surprised if Mario was looking for the back air there and did not realize he was facing towards the stage, which means he was in lag just a little too long, and AyeJay was able to capitalize. Now, the stock is down. Do we see Mario get more aggressive as he goes for these grabs, goes for the back airs? Does he jump off stage? No, he tries to call out the side special, but AyeJay doing a good job playing it slow and trying to understand that, hey, I don't need to be getting in this guy's face. I can take this at my pace, as we do see Mario taking a step back to sort of breathe, get that mental reset.
Yeah, this is really interesting to watch, right? We're really not seeing the urgency that I would have expected from this Mario player, right? AyeJay still has this 1 stock. There are 2 players left for SU, and I'm not seeing the level of aggression that I might have expected, but sure enough, Mario able to find the forward smash right on the ledge and put AyeJay away, only losing 1 stock, so not terrible at all for ETSU, but still a 1 stock lead for Shenandoah.
Yes, a very good use of Flood there to stall out the recovery. We saw earlier in that match that AyeJay was able to get back onto the stage by stalling it out, using his double jump and then dashing into Mario after going for that forward smash. And again, immediately, adaptation, where Mario uses Flood to stall out those options, so Falco only has the 1 option left, and that option will eat fire to the face.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible stuff from that Mario player, high-level stuff. We talked about it from the start of that game all the way through, right? It's impressive to be able to change your gameplay and adapt your strategy as the game goes on, no matter who you're playing. But to really lean into your character and, like, not only, oh, am I going to roll this way or this way? Like, sure, everybody has those moments, but to really lean into a entirely different, almost move set, like, that you are utilizing in any given moment is always impressive to watch. And so we'll have plenty more to watch from this Mario player as he has 2 stocks left. But here comes what we assume to be the fun part of tonight's broadcast, right? What we tried to highlight before the series started. 540 Splice making his debut as an SU starter will likely be going in against this Mario.
Yes, and you're rocking the Captain Falcon to boot. There's something about the two of these characters that I view in a similar light. Both of them tend to play extremely aggressive most of the time. Mario definitely has more tools to sit back and play that patient game, as we saw with the Flood. But the Captain Falcon game, he doesn't have projectiles. His goal is basically all movement based. He is going to try and dance around Mario. See if Mario tries to throw out an attack hitting Captain Falcon, only for Captain Falcon to maybe double jump away, start picking up on that reaction, and then get a very aggressive grab or maybe a side special, get that combo game going. The other big factor is that Captain Falcon tends to take stocks off of the side, while Mario has a lot of tools to take off the top. While we saw the forward smash there from the Mario take it off the side there, I wouldn't be surprised if we see more up special confirms and up smashes going forward, but that also depends on the stage.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see, and we'll get the stage pick in here pretty soon before we load into game, but you're right. And another thing about Mario that we didn't really see in the last game, or at least in that one stock against AyeJay, was the forward air. Right,
yeah.
We didn't see Mario going off stage very aggressively, at least in that one stock, to try to put AyeJay off the bottom with a spike. But, I mean, you said it, right? Both of these characters have the capability to go off the side of the platform and find combos and kill moves with, I guess, both of their forward airs respectively being extremely good at finishing stocks.
Yeah, and already we are seeing a very good whiff punish game coming out from the Mario, who has been just racking up that damage. But here comes Captain Falcon using the Raptor boost, getting a little bit of damage, but again, going for the forward tilt, and Mario able to dash in and get another grab going. I wouldn't be surprised if Mario does play a bit more of a grounded game for this matchup while in this sort of neutral state, trying to bait out either the Raptor boost or potentially a Nair, as we do see a very aggressive Captain Falcon getting right in there, trying to keep that pressure going.
Yeah, I really like what I saw there from Splice, but unfortunately just misses. Great spacing so far from this Mario player all throughout, though, not only on that offstage interaction, but plenty of times in this neutral game, right? A lot of side Bs not quite finding their target from Splice, as he's thrown a lot out but can't quite land now, as the pressure from this Mario is really starting to mount.
Yes, we have 68% on this Mario, as a down air from Splice is able to try and get a little bit of shield pressure going. But here comes Mario again, trying to get these punish options going for the down airs in the neutral, and is catching Captain Falcon sometimes, but we did see a very good nair there. Goes for the jab, trying to knock Mario out of the air, as we do see Mario able to grab the ledge, and Captain Falcon having to use the Raptor boost. He may not be able to recover, as the cape comes out and Mario is sitting at a 90% pretty.
Yeah, that was a tough break for Splice, as he does just get his recovery stalled, right? We see how dangerous Flood can be when used properly, and a great execution there, but more great execution from this Mario, finding a 65% string. I believe that was all a true combo until the end. I mean, this is incredible to watch, right? Utilizing the platforms, maximizing the efficiency this stage can give a Mario player, as now Splice finds himself in dangerous territory, but the forward smash won't quite connect. Both of these players over 100% and looking to put each other down.
Yeah, we do see Captain Falcon opting in for the back airs to try and close out this stop. Same with Mario, but now he's in this juggle state. Mario goes for the up smash. It doesn't connect, and Captain Falcon is able to get a jab off because of it. But we are seeing, just look how many options both players are trying to close out these stocks, as we see a DBZ moment there as both players clash, and Captain Falcon goes for the dash attack, but the shield will clank, and that means that Mario walks away with the 2 stocks in hand.
Yeah, wow, a tough break for SU there, as now a 5-3 stock advantage for ETSU is now the name of the game, right? As SU sends their last player in, it will be Willy, right? I don't think there's anything to speculate about at this point. One of, if not, the best player from Shenandoah now needs to take 5 consecutive stocks. Not consecutive, I guess. He will have 3 stocks of his own. But a tall order for Willy, but, I mean, we've seen him do so much more.
Right.
So.
And I do want to talk a little bit about the matchup we just saw. It wouldn't shock me if Splice was feeling the pressure of needing to make those decisions, because Mario has the tools to play that game a little bit more patient. Captain Falcon, we talked about, needs to be the one to get close and gets his damage by getting the opponent to sort of play preemptive. And while that is easy to say on paper, it's not easy when you have a player like that. We saw this Mario is willing to play slow, willing to play patient, and had a very solid whiff punish game, but it built up. It was by that last stock that we saw that momentum build. Now, with Willy going in, it's going to be a matter of what does this Mario do? Does he play back against Kazuya Mishima, or does he try to get close? I have my answer, because when you're playing against a scary demon man, you usually want to run away.
Yeah, you tend to avoid that if you happen to see that walking down the street, but now we do see Mario in his wedding attire does stumble into a scary demon man as Willy finds an electric to start this matchup. An early find here for Willy as he looks for more, but and a quick little offstage interaction finds Mario back on stage. But man, Willy is throwing out the hitboxes to start this.
He does not care as a rising electric will be able to close out that stock into the uppercut. And I mean, this is the glory of Kazuya, right? Once he gets a little bit of momentum going, the pressure is just non-stop. And so with Mario, yes, you can play that slower game. You can go for these fireballs and stuff, but one grab, look at this, a couple of good hits into another grab, keeps going for the electric. And these air dodges are not necessarily helping Mario. Yes, they're getting him out of the spot initially, but just look at how Willy is able to follow up and keep that pressure going.
Yeah, I mean, pressure is exactly what we're watching, right? Look at these electrics! I mean, this is so intimidating. This is so much more than just a scary demon man on your screen. The hitboxes, the stuns, the safety of that move, as Mario can't even recover. I mean, how intimidating can you be, Willy?
Oh, no. That is a moment, in my opinion, where Willy looked at how that match was going and said, wait, I don't think he realizes how to deal with Kazuya Mishima. And just started throwing out electrics. He just keeps on going, one after another, and Mario just stepped back. He kept giving space. Because what do? It's a scary demon man.
It's a scary demon man. No, I mean, like, that move is so strong for so many reasons, and we could probably take the rest of this broadcast explaining why that move is as good as it is, and we'd still have more to talk about by the time this series is over. But, I mean, namely, you said it, right? It commands so much space that Mario eventually ran out of, finding himself off stage, unable to recover. I mean, if you shield it, he's too far away for you to punish. I mean, what do you do? Yeah. I don't know. I don't have the answer.
I mean, a lot of it comes down. This game does have dedicated top tiers. It has your high tiers, it has your mid tier. Like, it covers the whole thing. This game is not entirely balanced around like, oh, everyone is truly all treated equal. No, Kazuya has these tools, and you kind of just have to respect it. You can take your shield damage and like get pushed back. Maybe that's what you do. You just run up shield and then he'll electric, and then you're like, oh, what 50-50 is he going to do next? Is he going to do another electric wind god fist, or is he going to try to punish me for jumping? Or is he going to punish me for jumping by using electric wind god fist? Like, the move, it slices, it dices, it purees and fries. It's great. But at the same time, I think a lot of it came down to Mario feeling that pressure initially, and because of that, he just couldn't find his footing. The moment that taunt happened, Kazuya was crouch dashing towards Mario and immediately got damage off and closed out that stock so quickly. But now we are hopping into this last round. 3 stocks to 3 stocks, Lucas versus Kazuya, as we are on Smashville, another very small stage that can work in Kazuya's favor, as we do see 1 electric into the nairs. Is Lucas down? 2 being 1 good up special, and he does make it back onto the stage, but an electric will shove him off, and going for the forward smash to close things down. Another up smash will be able to close. What am I watching, Chris?
I don't know.
Kazuya Mishima is just doing what he does best. It's crazy. Willy is doing amazing as another grab into an electric won't be able to connect as the percent is just a little too high, but Lucas is already on the ledge.
And I mean, we talked about applying pressure in the last few series from this Mario, and it was largely because of the amount of hitboxes that both Mario and Captain Falcon can throw out in quick succession. Willy is applying immensely more pressure by quite literally just standing there. He was able to find his kill button there, that comeback mechanic that can be so deadly, as Kazuya now finds Lucas in dangerous territory. The forward smash won't quite land, and now he's sliding into kill zone.
I love seeing this because we saw, look at the confidence exuded by Willy. He's at 126 and is just letting moves fly. He does not care. Goes for the dash attack, gets Lucas off stage. Lucas is going for the side magnet, trying to get a little bit of healing, potentially get Willy to throw out the laser, but Willy is not having any of it as he goes for an up special and still hasn't lost a stock. He's at 133, and Lucas definitely has the moves to deal with it, but they're just not connecting how he wants, as we do see one good hit does send Kazuya off stage, but now a little bit of a stall game. And Lucas is just trying to get something, take out the one stock off of the scary demon man, and this up throw may be enough. No, did we mention that Kazuya is a heavyweight? He is a heavyweight because he's able to live until 180, and now a good down smash is going to connect into the grab. 63% onto the Lucas, going for the side magnet again, and we do see one side special. Lucas able to get the back air. Kazuya is still living as he is just keeping that pressure going, trying to call out with a down smash as the PK Thunder may be able to close it. No,
Wow.
okay. The invincibility ran out.
And we get to breathe, Kevin, but not for long, as one electric will land and find this Lucas up to 100%. He goes for the forward smash. The shield will not matter. Willy putting it away. Easy peasy, says Willy Crescent.
I need a moment to breathe. I need a moment to acknowledge. What?
I know, I can't help. It's not meant to be like BM disrespectful anything. I cannot help but laugh at that style of Smash Bros, right? It's so imposing. It's terrifying because he can do everything we just watched him do, right? They know it's coming, but how do you respond? We saw a lot of moves not connecting from Willy, but the whiff punishes that we saw in all three of Shenandoah's players before Willy were not there against Willy.
My big thing when talking about like heavyweights in this game, or just general, we talked a lot about it for the other players, is when do you become intimidating to start playing make your opponent start playing preemptive? They need to start throwing out moves to try and deal with you. And like, that's a very real factor of this game. Mind games come into this, and it usually comes through because, oh, they're starting to call out my roll reads. They're starting to get these ledge get-ups. And it all just keeps racking up, and the mental stack in your brain just starts to crumble.
It's overwhelming.
But then you have Mr. Mishima, who...
Scary demon man.
Yeah, the scary demon man just walked into the game and commanded respect. That is a very real factor of this game. We talk about game plans all the time, but I just, like, it's so much because, yes, okay, I have to respect Pac-Man's game plan because he's using Hydrant, and like, oh, that means that I need to get close to him by jumping over it or hitting it or whatever. And Kazuya just does that by throwing out electric. This character is insanity, and I love it. Because it's so much fun to talk over.
Yeah, I mean, it's so much fun to watch. We could talk about it forever. And I mean, to put it nicely, to put it simply, we're certainly glad that it's on our side.
Yes.
Right? It's certainly not this fun to talk about if you are up against it. And I'm sure ETSU is now feeling the pressure as they find themselves in a 1-0 deficit in this series. So with that said, it sounds like we are going to take a quick break. So take a breather, right? Go get some water. We certainly will. Do not go anywhere. We will be back with the continuation of this SU versus ETSU series. Welcome back, everybody, to this Shenandoah University, Eastern Tennessee State University Smash Bros. Series. My name is Chris Clayton, and I am joined once again by my lovely brother, Kevin Clayton. And we are about to get into match number 2 of this series, with Shenandoah with a 1-0 lead so far, after witnessing probably some of the most exciting, I don't even know if exciting is the best word to use, some of the most unique Smash Bros. We may have ever seen on this desk.
Yes, because we had a crew battle that was so incredibly close to start things off. Kipp kept up that pressure initially and was able to walk away with 4 stocks, but then it returned to the other side. ETSU was able to even it out, and then AyeJay was set to got his 4, and they even it out again. And then this Mario player locks in, gets a very commanding 3 stock, and the pressure is now on SU. And then Willy goes in and just says, I don't care. He doesn't know what to do, and just starts throwing out electric.
No, quite literally. I mean, we saw him throw out probably upwards of 10 uninterrupted. But, I mean, you're right. It seemed like SU was on the back foot for a brief moment, right? And within seconds of Willy loading into that match, you just knew that although statistically SU was down, SU was not down in that series.
Yeah, I mean, when you have a player who truly dedicates so much time to this game and really honing his craft and making sure he's aware of what sort of situations he should be ready for, there were multiple times where I would say the players on ETSU are definitely making the right calls. Like, they're trying to get out of these combos the right way, but Willy has the knowledge to just be like, okay, well, you tried doing this option, and like, I'm ready for that. You tried to air dodge out. Yeah, my electric didn't connect, but now I'm sliding towards you at incredibly high speeds, and you are getting hit by an electric on the ground. So now we're just like, it's a back and forth. But I do want to talk. We're going into this next round, right? And I wouldn't generally, the winning team doesn't usually change how they send in their players, which means that SU, if I had to bet, will go a very similar route for this time around. But for ETSU, I don't know how you switch this around. Do you keep Game & Watch for this Kazuya? He's got the tools, but it's like, there's so much. It may come down to a player we haven't seen.
No, that's true. We do have a little bit of intel on ETSU's roster. We believe that they might have a Shulk player or a Bowser Jr. player or even an Aegis player somewhere in there, right? It certainly sounds like they have options from everything we are able to see from here. Now, obviously, only the people in that room know what's about to happen.
Right.
But, I mean, I think you're right. Something... I don't even want to say something needs to change, because ETSU was right there with it until it fell apart at the end, right? Mm-hmm. And as much as I want to say that, like, hey, yeah, like that worked to a certain degree, it ended so drastically different that I do think a major change is then warranted to try to deal with Willy at the end.
And I don't think the thought process was wrong for, like, sending in the Lucas. Because what? You got a character who has projectiles to deal with Kazuya, and frankly, has a decent boxing game, has these forward airs and down airs, and is able to kind of dance around you. He's got the tools, but it just wasn't enough for this situation, which means you may need something similar to sort of zone this out as we get into this game, and we will see a little bit of that zoning. And we do see Kipp going out initially, and Meteor this time around having to go up against the Pac-Man.
Yeah, so you immediately start to wonder, right, with everything we talked about before the first match, with Owls being such a massive threat to this SU squad, maybe that's the answer that ETSU believes gives them the highest odds of winning. I mean, we'll have to see if maybe Owls is calling his own number here, but a long ways away, as now we do have the first game on your screen and have for a minute as Game & Watch finds himself up to now 100%. This is back to this extremely aggressive playstyle that we saw last series, right? If anybody is able to match this type of playstyle, I wouldn't on paper expect it to be Pac-Man, but he certainly is able to when it's in Kipp's hands.
Yeah, and I mean, right now, Meteor is playing a very, like, airborne game, which isn't a bad thing. That is really what Pac-Man, I wouldn't say struggles to deal with, but when you place the hydrant, you're expecting your opponent to either run at it and hit it or jump over it. But if Game & Watch is sitting so high up, he has such great tools to try and keep that punish game going. As we do see, he's trying to land on this Pac-Man and get this damage going, but it's just not enough just yet.
Yeah, now upwards of 150%. I was literally just about to say that even an apple could find a kill at a percent like this, and sure enough, it does exactly that. Kipp able to take the first stock of this second match here in this series.
Yeah, and we do see the Galaga thrown up high, preventing Game & Watch from jumping there, which means that Kipp gets a little bit of damage and a good amount of stage control, as another Galaga hit will mean that Game & Watch is just sitting up high, trying to keep that pressure going from above, as Kipp is sitting at 116% as a bomb will be able to take that stock, as it is 2-2. But Kipp is rocking up that percent, 71, to get things going.
Yeah, big difference that I'm noticing in this matchup compared to the last time we watched Meteor on this Game & Watch. We are seeing a lot more of the bucket as we see Kipp try to find that forward smash there with all those hitboxes stalling out that play. The adaptation I was just talking about, we're seeing the bucket come out a bit more, and it makes sense with a character like this. All of these projectiles, including that bell, can find stuns and lead to smash attacks. I mean, that's exactly what you want to try to bucket against, and we've seen him try, but it hasn't quite worked. Kipp now with a stock lead.
That is the first time I have seen that setup truly connect. I've seen a couple of times where characters are sent just a little too high, or just isn't thrown out fast enough. The fact that that is real and works and isn't trying to bait your opponent into panicking is wicked.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. I can't confidently say I've ever seen that truly work either, but Kipp with plenty of tricks up his sleeve, as is the nature of Pac-Man, right? With all of these options, arguably more options than, I guess, most of the roster. I won't say all the roster, but I mean, with a dynamic and flexible character like Pac-Man, those are the types of situations that you need to be ready for, and why Pac-Man as a character can be so dangerous as a first character to send out in a crew battle like this. Kipp unable to find that one, but he finds another stun, a little too high to find the smash attack. One more stun will do the job, and Kipp walks out forward smash, ghost in hand, and 2 stocks in his backpack.
I cannot believe that played out so strongly for Kipp. We saw in the first round of this, it was a one-stock game for so long, such a good back and forth, and the adaptation to send in this Game & Watch first, I do think there is a great call for this, because he's able to sort of dance around, and we saw that high game where he was just able to get in on Kipp higher than the angle that a lot of characters just tend to jump in on. But, I mean, these whiff punishes, Game & Watch, again, throwing out a lot of moves, and it just barely, if they weren't connecting, from the key landings to just an throwing out the bucket, expecting Kipp to throw something, only to get a boot to the face. I mean, it truly evolved into an adaptation game, and Kipp picked up fast and walks away the winner because of it.
Yeah, and it's an interesting strategy, right? You made the point that there's considerable logic in that decision to send Game & Watch out against Pac-Man, because Pac-Man has a lot of those projectiles, right? We know the bucket is there, but we also know that those projectiles don't have the vertical threat or as much of a vertical threat as they have horizontally, right? Yeah. And the one exception to that being that weird angle that the bell goes at when he throws it. And sure enough, what did we see the most of that game? We saw Game & Watch getting stunned on repeat. I mean, stunned 3 or 4 times in that last stock alone. Game & Watch unable to keep up with the projectile-heavy playstyle that is Pac-Man.
Yeah.
Kipp Pac-Man.
Right. And I think so many of those setups on Kipp weren't necessarily because, I just don't have to deal with, I don't need to worry about this bucket whatsoever. He was throwing out a lot of these bells in spots where Game & Watch is, either between Pac-Man and the bell, that's where we saw the forward throw interaction, or he's, grabbing the bell and jumping above the Game & Watch. He's making sure that the pressure is going on these buckets, and he's punished for playing it with that option, but now we have the other side of this coin. Mario is going in second, which means we got a much more aggressive approach coming in from the other side, and this fire hydrant is going to play a pretty big factor.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to keep sitting here and using the phrase that this is a smart decision, right? There's reason behind this, because so far it hasn't quite worked out for ETSU, but we're not making it up, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's reason for all of this, and although we're not seeing the results that we may be describing, it's smart play here to send out Mario second and try to deal with this Pac-Man. You said it, the aggressive playstyle, if that is what is deemed necessary from this Mario, right? We know the options this character has and the variations that they can switch between at any given moment, but Mario is, frankly, the highest chance of success right now for ETSU, sparing maybe their Ken and Ryu player that it seems they might be holding for the back end. But man, the roll read there off the ledge will find a forward smash waiting for it, and Kipp up early once again.
Yes, and we see Mario, the moment the first stock was playing very patient. He walked up to the fire hydrant and pressed shield, trying to call out an option where Kipp would hit the hydrant, and then he may be able to get that punish game going. But the moment Mario loses that stock, out the gate, back airs into more and just trying to rack up that damage. But now, again, here's the other side of that coin. Takes out the fire hydrant, and it's bouncing slowly towards Pac-Man. I think that's going to be his favorite option going forward, and frankly, it's going to be difficult for Kipp to deal with if he doesn't have the space necessary to walk away.
Yeah, I mean, such a pivotal part of this Mario gameplay. And sure enough, yeah, we do see the fire hydrant finding its way, rolling towards Pac-Man. Remember that Mario has that cape, right? We talk so much about these projectiles. We talk about what Game & Watch was capable of doing with the bucket. Mario has a similar function in this cape, but we see an interesting interaction there. Send Mario off stage, not quite able to find the kill, as Kipp now just looking to confirm anything he's got. The apple comes out, and there's that cape I'm talking about, right? These projectiles might end up biting Kipp in the end.
I'm starting to see a little bit of pressure on Mario. The way that he's playing, we saw multiple air dodges come out, which means that he's feeling the pressure. Goes for the air dodge to try and dash past Kipp, but Kipp calls it out, gets another step back, and throws the bell to take that stock.
Yeah, man, Kipp running like a track star all the way from the ledge to way past center stage for that read, and finding it, waiting for him, but sure enough, finding a forward smash also waiting for him right off the ledge, as finally Mario is able to take one stock off Kipp, but man, is he running away with this.
Man, Mario really is trying to make sure that he is not getting, Pac-Man does not get as much charge as he can, as he's been doing such a great job of, if Kipp is sitting there charging, he's looking for these approaches, but Kipp has been doing a great job holding onto the shield, trying to call the roll read, but doesn't get it, which means the up special will keep Kipp in a safe spot. But Mario at 89% and walking up to a Pac-Man, charging another fruit.
Yeah, 89% off of basically 2 interactions. I mean, that is frustrating if you're ETSU here, right? It's you need every interaction to go your way at this point. Mario's now in kill percentage, certainly kill percentages. Now we see the bell coming out, right? If that lands, it's almost guaranteed doom for this Mario player, now up to 120%, just struggling to find his way back on stage, and finally gets his way in and finds a grab.
I love the aggressive call out of Mario. Immediately just runs through the bell, saying that projectile has to go up. I'm able to just run at him. But on the other side of that coin, if Kipp decides to hold it for a little bit longer and go for the key, then the other side of that coin happens. And now it leads to a stock taken off of the Mario, and Kipp already has 6 stocks to start things off. A drastic change from the first time around.
And just like that, too, Kipp is back to 0%. I mean, this is a red alert for ETSU now. They need to find a way to get this last Kipp stock out of the way, right? We know that ETSU found success against 540 Splice, right? That's where they found their advantage in the first match of this series, right? Otherwise, they lost every other matchup. Kipp finding 4 stocks, AyeJay finding 4 stocks. The only net positive interaction was against Splice. So with that in mind, this is not at all where you want to be if you're ETSU, and they need to find a way to bounce back now.
And not only that, this is so dangerous because you had a player who was able to take a lot off of SU and now they're out of the picture.
Yeah.
That is now an uncertainty
That's
for someone
true.
who can deal with one of SU's players. You had to be confident in this player, Mario, taking out Kipp right there and now. But when you're dealing with someone with 2 players, it's a very risky gamble, one that you can take when you're behind and you may be rewarded. But on the other side, it is deadly for this situation.
No, yeah, I mean, that's a great point, and something I hadn't considered was that the success that I was talking about, the net positive interaction from the first match, was from the Mario, and now that Mario is gone. So, I mean, scary territory here if you're ETSU, but certainly not out of it yet, right? Plenty of Smash Bros. Left to play. Kipp with 1 stock remaining, and this Lucas needs to find a way to get out of this situation smoothly.
Yeah, so we already see Lucas trying to play the aggressive game here, really trying to get Kipp to be the one to throw out, but a couple of good whiff punishes means that almost 70% is on Poisonous the Lucas as he's just trying to get little bits and pieces of damage. The up special from Pac-Man able to keep Lucas off of him. Chris, we may have a 0 to death on our hands. The up smash won't take Lucas out, and a good hit will mean that now the 0 to death dream is gone.
Yeah, unfortunately for Kipp, unable to find the 100 to 0, but you're certainly not picky in situations like this, right? Kipp already well overperforming his own standards, or at least the traditional standards of a crew battle, but I mean, 130% is now terrifying for ETSU, right? We said we cannot emphasize enough the intensity of this situation, the urgency that we need to see from ETSU to get out of this matchup. But they, so far, just cannot find the answer.
Yeah, and look at Kipp really sitting
up
back and trying to take his time, really make sure that he's getting as much value as he can out of these stocks. He doesn't need to start playing aggressive. Unlike a lot of characters when they're in these sorts of situations, he's allowed to keep sitting back, and frankly, why wouldn't you? You're getting so much. This Lucas player is at 165. Any sort of move, whether it's a fruit like that or a back air, means that now 5 stocks are there for ETSU, and Kipp is still sitting at a nice 60%. If this continues to play out this way, that means that Kipp may even take another.
I mean, yeah, you said it, right? A nice, comfy 60%. Key word there, right? You're not quite feeling the pressure just yet. If you're Kipp, right, you're settled into your rhythm. You're certainly in a flow state of some sort right now to have taken 7 stocks straight. But, I mean, the pressure just hasn't been there. All the pressure that we talked about in that first match that was going both ways, right? Both of these aggressive schools showing their aggression in all of their players. We just have not seen from ETSU this match, and now Kipp with his 8th consecutive stock. I mean, this is incredible to watch.
Yeah, I mean, we have situations like this a lot on the desk. When you're dealing with a Pac-Man player, it is so difficult to find these last couple of hits because he's just able to dance around you so well. Whether it's jumping towards the other side or sort of baiting it out with a little bit of hydrant, it means that you're just eating so much percent. 63 on the Lucas, and a trampoline bounce back means that neutral is reset. Lucas is sent into the special fall onto the trampoline, but Pac-Man charging up the key. Lucas trying to dash back, but the key goes so far, and another bell combo means that we may see another shield poke situation. A very aggressive call out from Kipp. May have been able to close it, but it's just a matter of this last hit.
Yeah, and now, I mean, I can't help but look a little to the future, right? If Kipp is able to come out of this with a 3 stock, the bad news only mounts for ETSU, right? If they're unable to knock Kipp out now, all of this percentage, everything that Poisonous on this Lucas has worked for is for naught, right? It will amount to nothing if he cannot find the stock, but he does finally put Kipp away, and ETSU with 4 stocks remaining and now have a massive mountain to climb.
Look at Kipp. Kipp was cracking his knuckles. He says, all right, I did what I came here to do, so be it. But truly, the monster is gone. This beast that, frankly, has kind of was hidden in the shadows. I think that Ryu and Ken player almost disguised what a sort of menace Kipp is, because we've seen it a lot on this disc, right? We talk, Kipp has taken so many stocks starting because people don't always have the answer, and I'm positive ETSU sat down and said, okay, we need to save this Ryu player for this next round. We need to save him for the Kazuya, and frankly, good on you. When you have that situation, though, you ask the rest of your players, okay, who can deal with Pac-Man? And I'm positive someone raised their hand and said, hey, I think I can do it. Or frankly, if you don't have that option, you still have to make the uncomfortable decision of, well, I think I have the best odds. And then it just runs away from you. This character is a menace, and it's either you know what you're getting into or you're losing stocks like this.
Yeah, and we talk so much about momentum on this desk, right? Is momentum even real? It absolutely is. And if there's anywhere to prove it, it's in a fighting game style, right?
Yeah.
We know the mental tax that momentum can take if it's against you, and I have no doubt that ETSU is really starting to feel that now as they find themselves in a 9-4 stock deficit. We do see that Shenandoah's response will be to put 540 Splice back in as he looks to redeem himself a little bit.
Yes, I wouldn't be surprised if the goal of this is to connect this bridge. We talked so much about that the ETSU roster is very big. It doesn't have to be this Ryu player who goes in last. It could be someone else, and getting that information out now is definitely important, but that means you need someone to do it, and I do think that Splice has the damage and the potential to dance around what this Lucas has going on to try and take the stock and get that information out of ETSU.
Yeah, but a much more expected return to form here for ETSU is now they do find a way to get Splice up to 120%. We see the success that they were not able to find earlier, but now with a knee from center stage launching this Lucas well off stage. I mean, now with 3 stocks left ahead of him, yeah, you almost do expect to see that bridge get connected, as you said, but Poisonous able to find the first stock he needs. Still 2 more to get out of this situation, but finding his way in, finding combos, getting the damage he'll need to put this whole thing together.
Yeah, very good down tilt from our Captain Falcon. Player is going to rack up a little bit more damage. Going for the air dodge past the PK freeze is going to keep this damage racking up, but a lot of these projectiles are keeping that damage going. We do see him opting for a Falcon kick, trying to just brute force his way in, as we do see the Raptor boost going for the knee, but it won't connect just yet, as both players may get taken out by any of their good knockout options, whether it's the knee or the back air from Captain Falcon, or on the other side of that, Lucas using that sweet spot forward air. Either way.
Yeah, and I really, oh wow, falling back air center stage is able to just take that stock. I was just about to say I love the aggression that we were seeing from Splice in that situation to just say, hey, we have little to nothing to lose, right?
Yep.
With so many stocks ahead, you might as well just start throwing out the most aggressive option you can, because one of them's going to land and take away that stock. We almost saw it with the knee the other direction, but sure enough, it doesn't even take an incredibly aggressive option to put that stock down.
Yeah, and not only that, we saw a bit of a different side of this Captain Falcon matchup. When you're dealing with this character, of course he wants to get in close. We talked about that so much last time. Mario has a lot of really good get-off-me tools. He has the up smashes, up special if you're feeling crazy, but like a couple of the aerials also do a really good job of getting rid of pressure on your shield. And then you have Lucas, who has a couple of those options, but like not nearly as many, and they tend to be high committal if they miss. So now, these couple of hits were really working for Splice, who was able to just run in and keep that pressure going this time around, rather than getting punished for this aggressive playstyle.
Yeah, and now with one player remaining for ETSU, right, we've mentioned a couple times throughout this broadcast, we know that ETSU has a few more players than we have seen today, or at least we believe they do. But with how the first series went and what we know about Owls, this Ken/Ryu player, I would be stunned if this is anyone but Owls to try to finish this for ETSU.
Yeah, and sending this player in against a Captain Falcon kind of works in his favor because you're playing a character who, yes, does incredibly well in that close game, but we saw the first time with this Ryu player, those fireballs take up a lot of space and just command respect. Something that you do just have to acknowledge. You have to jump around. So, will that be the answer for this time around? We are going to hop into this game, but a slight character swap means that we are seeing a Ken player instead of the Captain Falcon, or instead of the Ryu, pardon me. But this is fascinating to me, Chris, because on the one hand, yes, this character tends to have very explosive finishes, and maybe that's what you need for this time around, but it comes at a cost. You don't have those fireballs, the red ones that command that respect. Those Hadoukens are broken on shield. The red one isn't, and Ken doesn't have it. So there are so many factors that could go into this. It's just a matter of how it plays out, and is this the right choice?
Yeah, wow. I mean, that's a great explanation because, yeah, these characters are so, I guess, fundamentally similar, but they're different enough to really matter. But we do see, wow, Owl's coming out swinging to start, saying, I am not here to mess around. I need 8 stocks to be able to tie this series up and keep playing, finding a quick one to start this matchup, as now he, man, is finding the combos he needs, and he might just have it. He sure does. Off the platform. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? Same combo twice, and Owls finds the 2 stocks he needs to get this momentum rolling.
Yes, and that was very well played
Yes,
by
it
Owls,
was.
because not only did he take those stocks relatively early, it was also a very different game plan than when he was doing with the Ryu. Ryu did play a very good spacing game initially, but that Ken just kept it all going, kept that momentum, and we saw, big factor from last time to now, less focus, less of the focus attack to get those hits in. It could just be a Pac-Man matchup thing, and I would understand that, but it also just speaks to the playstyle of the character. You can play Ken and really just run at your opponent, and they have to respect you. This is why this is so dangerous. But we are going in for this final round, potentially. SU has 2 players. Do you send in AyeJay trying to keep that pressure alive and save Willy in the back, or do you give these fighting game players the chance to just have at each other?
As much as I, as a spectator, would love to see Willy come out right now and we get a 3-stock on 3-stock just slugfest, strategically and at a collegiate competitive level, I don't think that makes sense for Shenandoah, right? I think it makes a lot more sense for SU to send out AyeJay here and try to get as much of an advantage as possible, if not just take out Owls outright. But we'll see, right? We talked in the first series, right? We saw Falco get sent in to sort of absorb that pressure. At that point, it was Mario, but absorbing pressure nonetheless in a close quarters melee matchup, we have seen AyeJay come out on top, right? So I expect AyeJay feels the need to fulfill the same role as we do see AyeJay come in for Shenandoah and look to build any advantage he can for potentially Willy coming out if AyeJay is unable to take 3 stocks here.
Yes, okay, look at how this is being played already. This Ken player is taking the time to sit back, trying to get AyeJay to start either throwing out the lasers or potentially get a whiff punish going, but there's that focus attack that really turns this advantage game, as now AyeJay is feeling the pressures. Almost 60% onto the Falco, but a good roll-in will get a up tilt and will get a good amount of damage onto Owls.
Yeah, and AyeJay saying, why not now? Why not me, right? Finding 114% to start this off and absolutely setting the tempo for this matchup, right? Finding the space to completely zone out this Ken, and anytime he jumps in, finding forward airs. Anytime he shoots a projectile, reflecting it right back to him. AyeJay has been playing so clean to start this, but unable to find a combo in a while, and sure enough, you leave Ken to his devices, he will find one of his own and put AyeJay away, drawing first blood in this matchup.
This is probably the most scary spot you can be when playing up against a Ken player. We saw how early he took stocks earlier. Now he has 137%. An 89% Shoryuken is able to close out that stock, and that means that AyeJay is going to be feeling the pressure, but a good up throw may be able to get a little bit more pressure going as Ken is opting to go back to the ledge and go a little low. AyeJay taking the time to breathe, saying, I need to take a step back. I can't let him get these strings going, because that's the thing. Ken's combo game still is consistent despite the fact that he has so much rage on it. He's able to have that increased knockback where it matters, but when it comes to the combo game, it's still sitting nice and pretty.
Yeah, and you have to remember, if you are an SU player, this is a team game, right? All you need is to try to build an advantage for the player behind you. But worst case scenario for AyeJay is a 3-stock here. All you need is to find this 1 stock, and now at 170%, AyeJay goes off stage, unable to find that one, and this is uncomfortable territory for AyeJay, trying to find his way back on stage. The down tilts won't quite connect. AyeJay safely back on stage, not quite, as the Shoryuken will land in the air. 174%, not enough to get it done, and we will, sure enough, have a 3-stock on 3-stock slugfest.
Yes, and now, when you are dealing with this character, you now understand. Ken is so good at racking up that damage. We were gushing about the Kazuya combo potential. This character is able to string you across the stage, and while the combos may not be as long, you are not getting these crazy 0 to deaths necessarily. You are minimizing the amount of neutral interactions that you have to for these sort of wins. It was a lot on that rage, right? Holding on to that stock for as long as he did means that his knockback was amplified, and Shoryuken is just such a strong move. But now you have Kazuya, who is able to close out these stocks relatively quickly and at earlier percents. That may be a beast that we don't have to deal with, but it will all come down to a 3-stock, Kazuya Mishima versus Ken Masters. Here we go.
Yeah, and I believe Willy, when he came in last, we saw him did not lose a stock. All of a sudden, I don't feel as confident that we will see this. I expect this to be much, much closer than we saw earlier today. But so far, Willy absolutely making his presence felt, coming out swinging, finding the combo he needs, and taking an early stock easy.
Yes, and this is, again, the dangerous spot that you have to be in. Look at how these electrics connect. Look how he dashes forward, keeps the damage going. One good forward smash to the face will mean that Willy is walking away with so much damage. We're not even a minute into this game, Chris, and he's just racking it all up at once.
Yeah, the stuns all finding their way home. The electric wind god fist, the crouching stun, all of it able to find this Ken and put it away. Now Willy with a 2-stock advantage already, and now here comes this comeback mechanic that we know so well. The Shoryuken can't quite find the kill, and the comeback mechanic now gone for Kazuya. The kill button now off the table, but does he need it? We know better. He sure does not. Finding the stun on the platform will lead to an electric. The uppy won't quite land, and Ken lives to see another day.
Oh my goodness, he's looking for it. 1-2 jab, into the down beat, down to the... Chris, Willy just sent him down. He sent him where the demons go. He's gone. Ken Masters was sent down to the bottom.
the scary demon man finds his way back home. I mean, and with a guest, multiple guests with him. ETSU unable to find an answer for this Willy Kazuya. Good Lord, that is a commanding player.
I cannot believe that's how this played out. We talked about the high percentage having such a big factor in all of this, but I mean, look at this. 2 jabs into the down B and just throws it.
Let's go home. Let's go home, says Willy. I'm taking you with me. What an incredible series. What an incredible matchup. What an incredible team we have here at Shenandoah University. But man, what an incredible player we have in Willy sitting behind us.
Every time I see Kazuya Mishima, I can't help but get a little giddy because this character, I mean, Willy does a great job of piloting it. This is not an easy character to pick up.
Not at all.
And it takes time to fully understand what all options you have. But did you see how Ken was just stuck in so many of those combos? Usually, when Kazuya has a little bit of percent build up on him, some of those combos become a lot more difficult to connect. And so the strings tend to be cut off a little earlier. But he was sitting at like 40, anywhere between 40 and 60%. And so it's all connecting. All of these nairs into the down tilts into your electric when Godfist set up for the next round of the same thing. And it just is so commanding. And this is a player that you need to be ready for. If any other universities are watching, get ready, because not only now do you have to watch for this Pac-Man and figure out what sort of game plan you need to deal with that, now you have to deal with this scary demon man.
Yeah, I mean, the story of the day, the narrative that came out of this series was Scary Demon Man, right? And it's easy for us to get carried away, but at the end of the day, I mean, like I said in that AyeJay versus Owls matchup, this is a team game. No matter how much we get caught up in individuals, everybody does have to do their job, know your role, and go out there and execute. And Shenandoah absolutely did that today. And while worth mentioning, down one of their starters, right? This team still had to overcome some adversity with Igloo out of the country and finding a way to adapt, settle in, and go out there and execute against a very tough opponent. Both of these teams 3-0 coming into today. This was no easy task for Shenandoah, but able to rally around it and come out on top. Exciting stuff for this Shenandoah squad.
Yeah, now all eyes are going to be on SU. That does mean that these two undefeated champions, someone did walk away the winner, and all the people in this league are now going to be looking at what they need to do to deal with this team. This is the behemoth that you need to get through, and so it's going to be on these players. SU has a very good roster, but the pressure is going to build. And so can they deliver going forward? We will have to see.
We will have to see. Heavy is the crown of being at the top of any standings, but I believe that will do it for us here at the Shenandoah Esports Arena. Thank you so much for watching our Smash Bros team complete in NACE competition. Be sure to drop us a follow on whatever platform you may be watching, as well as all of our socials to stay in touch with anything we may be doing. We have plenty more games than Smash Bros if you are interested in watching. So thanks for watching. Hey, be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It may make their day, it may change their life. We will see you next time.